Live. We good? Okay. Hello, Grimace Shake. Anyway, I'd like to say that I got this whole stream set up in like 2 minutes. I'll be fast with it. Let's see this, because it's getting big. Cat 3 now. Spinny. Look at all that convection. And it's getting closer to the Yucatan Gap here. It's about to go into the Gulf, and that's when it really gets bad. Here's the cone. See this red area? Now check this out. 10 to 15 feet of storm surge. And if you remember what storm surge is, this ain't good. 2 feet can carry your car away. Imagine what 15 can do to you. It can carry your house away. So beach houses in this area are not going to have a fun time. Now currently, good news, this model has gone down. Cat 3 now instead of Cat 5. However, I feel like it's still going to be a Cat 4. Potentially, but Cat 3 is the max right now. It's just because of how hot the water is. If you can look here, see if I can get water temperature. Sea temperature, not Hawaii. Here. Just look how hot it is. A little bit cooler than yesterday, but yeah, see almost 90 degrees over here. That's a lot of fuel. If you look at the wind, here's Helene? I don't know. It's one of those. There's wind coming from here, wind coming from here. It's a lot of power. Hi, Banana VR. Powerful storm. Let me refresh this one more time. Go back to peak surge. Mike's weather page. Still kind of going Big Bend area. Everything's kind of converging on Big Bend area. So Big Bend area of Florida, watch out. Whew, baby. What website is this? Oh, tropical weather. Yes. Everything's converging on Big Bend here. Gyat, I was in Ohio before I met you. I goon too much and that's an issue. But I'm Grimace Shake. Uh, there, I said it. Models. Everything's saying Big Bend. So, Big Bend, watch out. You're about to get swooped-a-whooped. Oh, they've been flying the planes. That's nice. Check this guy out. Still only getting... Oh, it's risen. It's risen since the last time we talked about it. Just a little bit. But see, I think Cat 4 is still on the table. Especially if it shoots this gap well. Screen record? Maybe. Alright. Since Tropical Tidbits is already over here. Let's check the flags. Biggest I'm seeing is 20 knots right now. Let's check winds on the Yucatan Peninsula plus Cuba. Hello there, TMMT. So right now winds are looking like they don't want to respond. That's what they're looking like. Okay, let's do winds down here then. 22 miles an hour, 30. Not a hurricane yet, but once it gets to this water, it'll be a hurricane. Right now, track is showing. It's not showing up on here, but it'll be a category 3 by this time. Let me actually just go back to hurricanes. Here we are. Here's the track. Category 3 by Thursday. Then it'll impact probably as a 3. You're in Florida, help. Which part of Florida? I'll let you know if you need to evacuate. Well, actually, evacuate if they say to evacuate. Don't take my word for it, but I'll try my best here. 10 to 15 feet of storm surge in this area. Well, even on this side, 1 to 3. Let's see, TMMT. Are you over here? Is that the one who's over here in, what, Jamestown? Orange Park. Let me pull up. Okay, Google Maps and see where Orange Park is. Should have had this already open. My bad. Orange Park, Florida. Here we are. Alright, Orange Park. You're in the middle there, near Jacksonville. So, since you're on a tributary here, you might be looking at a little bit of storm surge. But you won't get a direct hit from the storm. Still, stay out of water. Turn around, don't drown. Let's go back to here, 1 to 3 feet. Right where you are. Biggest issue is Big Bend, 10 to 15 feet. Here, maybe I'll show the storm surge demo again. I love the storm surge demo. Let's see. Orange Park. As for uh the tracks, most are missing that part. Got a few here that say it might. So you're not gonna get a direct hit no matter what happens, except for this one track here, but that's one track. Things are mainly converging on Big Bend, Panhandle area. It's a Gulf hurricane, so you're on the Atlantic side, which means it's not gonna be as big of a hit, but it's still gonna be big. Stay safe. TMMT. Raven, what are you saying? Ooh, Juke Squad dropped. We might watch that later, but I'm on a storm surge. Storm surge demo. Yeah, that one works.
Storm surge, as we've talked about, like other impacts well outside of the cone. You could see problematic storm surge issues. And one of the biggest threats we know from a hurricane is storm surge, that flow of water from the ocean, or in this case, the Gulf, onto normally dry land. And using our FloodFX technology, we can show you what that flooding could look like. This is Gulfport, Florida, just south of St. Petersburg in the Tampa Bay.
So this here is 6 feet. And if we go to here, that's what it'll look like here and here. and that'll float your car.
Area. Water as high as 6 feet here. So you get a sense of the local roadways, businesses that would be inundated. So your vehicle may be underwater, homes underwater here with up to 6 feet of surge possible. We've also got a look at Cedar Key, Florida. There, we up the ante on the storm surge, could get as high as 9 feet. That is water onto normally dry ground. And remember, you're going to have the wave action on.
Okay, I'm actually gonna go to this one.
Dangerous Hurricane Michael continues to close in along the northern Gulf Coast. We do expect life-threatening and catastrophic storm surge flooding along with it. Now let's use these maps to show you how much water rise above normally dry ground you should prepare for. These maps made by the National Hurricane Center give us almost a block-by-block assessment of how much flooding to expect. For example, let's zoom in on Panama City Beach, a very popular area of the Florida coast. In areas in yellow and orange, up to 6 and even 9 feet of flooding above normally dry ground. So what does that look like? Well, let's show you. Imagine this. Imagine 3 feet of storm surge right here. Now, if this amount of water catches you by surprise, it's too late to evacuate. Cars are floating around and floating away. There's large objects in here that could knock things down with a battering ram-like force. Now, there's no way, again, to evacuate with this kind of storm surge. But we know there's going to be places with more than 3 feet. Imagine 6 feet of storm surge. Now, this completely floods out the first floors of homes and businesses, and the only way to escape that is to move to the higher floor of a building. Now, unfortunately, there are going to be places that get more than 6 feet of storm surge flooding. Imagine this, 9 feet and even beyond of flooding, of inundation. This is practically not survivable. So please follow the advice of your local officials when they ask you to evacuate. And if you have any questions about what evacuation zone you're in, if you need to go and or where you need to go to floridadisaster.org. And by all means, everybody, please stay safe.
Yep, there you have it. And this is gonna be even more than this. So like 15 feet would be to this power box here. If you're here, don't be here. Don't be in Big Bend on like Friday. Even Thursday, don't be in Big Bend. Please. Go somewhere else. Go to like Carolinas or something. Massachusetts. Anyway, other than that, not much new. Category 3 by Thursday. Mike's weather page, let's check that out. Thumbnail's still saying Cat 5, but that's changed. Let's refresh. Check out that satellite view. Got the paths. Mainly converging Big Bend. Run through this. Wind speeds. Big Bend, you got basically 100% chance. Tropical storm force winds. And that's 100 plus at times. Warnings. Looks like hurricane warning has been set for Big Bend. So that's nice. Big Bend? Nope, Big Bend. This area. It's a big bend. See how it bends really bigly? Anyway, blue tropical storm for the rest of Gulf Coast, Florida. Other side, tropical storm. But yellow. Back to peak surge. Actually, let's go to key messages. Nothing I really haven't already said. Okay. Heavy rain. Also, since it's Florida, watch out for tornadoes. No, there's actually a lot new because of the power. This is the big new thing. Plus, Storm Surge map wasn't out yesterday. So this is new. I was talking about this. Storm Surge is new. More today we have a more precise track. It was a little bit wider. Today it's been downgraded to Cat 3. So that's new. Let's see what else. It's gonna be bad. Badity bad, bad day for Florida on Friday. Let's watch his update here.
Play War Thunder now. Join millions of players across the globe in massive battles on tanks.
Before I kick this video off, I want to let you guys know that proceeds from these videos go towards supporting hurricane relief. If you drop a like, it makes a difference. We send donations from the revenue that we get from these videos directly to foundations that provide relief for the areas that are impacted the worst. Alright guys, I know I said I was going to post an update first thing this morning, but I've been waiting. I've been watching. And now we have Tropical Storm Helene. It is official. It is a named system. This is what I talked about in my first video, and I said everybody's overhyping everything.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's another new thing.
From the last time we filmed it.
There's a name now. There's a name now. I know I put the name yesterday because I knew it was gonna be named, but right now it's official. It is Hurricane. Here we go. Helene.
The video, huh? That's how this goes. I said 24 hours in hurricane years is like 15 years. My biggest concern was that this thing went tropical before moving into the Gulf, that it organized itself before moving into the Gulf. And if you look here, if I were to draw a line around the outer bands, that's looking a lot more like a storm. Look at that. Big storm starting to develop. This thing is going to be absolutely huge. How strong will it get is going to be the question.
Get a bit of the effect there. Wait, what? Why am I blanking on its name? Anyway,
I watched some of my hurricane videos from the past, and I personally feel as though I've not really been funny enough. Me being all serious through all these updates, I don't think it's helping anyone's nerves. So we're going to try to be more optimistic today. Maybe give you guys peace of mind, because there's no reason to worry. I've worried a great number of times about storms, and they're always just something that in a lot of ways we have to embrace and we have to deal with. We got to be calculated. We got to feel like we got this. There's no sense in handling this with haste. We still have time. So I want everybody to relax for now. Florida also knows hurricanes. We're pretty much the main target for hurricanes when it comes down to it. We live in a very densely populated state where there's tons of supplies. So sure, you can go get some supplies. Today is definitely the day to start preparing, but you don't really need to be going out and hoarding anything.
You're gonna touch me.
Actually happen really fast. I understand being trapped in one, it can seem like eternity, but we're usually talking like 12 to 16 hours. Then wherever gets hit and wherever's the most directly affected, all the surrounding areas come in to help. Florida has a very, very strong sense of community. I'm sure if you've lived here for long enough, you've seen some selfless acts that could bring a tear to your eye. I remember when the Bahamas got hit as hard as they ever have, and captains from all over Florida were donating their time and their boats to drive over and bring some supplies. I think that's just one of the best. I just think that that's just one of the best things about being a human, is having compassion and being a kind enough person who's willing to lend a hand, because we all know what it's like to feel like we need some help. Your best course of action is always to stay out of the direct path of the storm. I would not stay on any islands. If you are on any intercoastal or any waterways, pay attention to the surge maps. We're going to jump into them.
Watch out the keys.
10 to 15 feet, 6 to 8 feet, 5 to 8 feet. Anywhere on the Gulf Coast could see.
Let me reiterate, 10 to 15 will kill you. It's not a might, it will kill you. 6 to 10 will kill you. It's not a good situation.
Serious flooding from the storm. It's still not in the Gulf. So these are all just predictions. These are not things that we need to freak out about. It's just something to be aware of. I think that a lot of times in the past, the NHC has actually underhyped storms, where we thought a Category 3 was going to make landfall. Hurricane Michael ended up having winds over 200 miles an hour. And then like days later, like, oh, by the way, it wasn't a 3, it was a 5. Things just happen really quickly is my point. It never hurts to be ready. It never hurts to just look out there for some information. Use the trusted sources and have a plan. You're on the water, pretty much just go in. That's my best advice for you. There's going to be statewide effects from this storm. It's going to hit, I don't know, like 15 states are probably going to see bans from this storm. This is quite a scary scenario. Throughout my entire life, I've seen many, many hurricanes, but brushing as close to as a predicted major hurricane as we're about to is uncomfortable. Should we panic? No, we still have time. Does it look likely that we're going to have a major hurricane in the Gulf, though? Absolutely, it does. When NHC says it, you have to follow, because they're pretty reliable. and actually, like I said many times in the past, have underhyped storms that ended up being catastrophic. That being said, now's the time to prepare, to have a plan in place in case the scenario makes a turn for the worst. If you are new to hurricanes and don't know how to prepare, let me help you out real quick from a video from last year's hurricane season. This will hopefully give you a laugh, and then we will get serious again. I'm one of the leading experts in many things. Hurricanes is not one of them, because I've been legally advised not to say that I'm an expert when it comes to hurricanes. I'm a hurricane enthusiast and a Florida man. The point of today's video is to help you feel like you got this, because I know you do.
It's probably a
With
good
my
thing
help.
to see right here.
Now it's time for us to give you some advice on what you should do to feel more prepared for this hurricane. Number one,
The
flashlights
fog
are
is
incredibly
coming.
convenient if you go into full-blown panic mode. Here's a list of things that you can do around your home to add safety. Be sure to trim any large branches. It's probably going to get as windy as you've ever seen, and branches break when it gets windy. So trim the brush around your house. This house is good.
Hey, I don't care.
We're good
Trying
here.
to educate people about
Feel the pool?
hurricanes.
Good for you. Throw all your lawn chairs and tables into it to prevent them from flying into your neighbor's house. Don't even think about leaving your trampoline assembled, especially if it's the world's biggest one. Take all the springs
Big old
and the mat off
trampoline.
to prevent that too from flying into your neighbor's house. I learned this from experience. Twice.
It has flown into his house.
Oh, not my trampoline! Oh, Florida, what the What the My trampoline! Oh!
Love you, Juke Squad.
Tie it down to something solid, take all the springs and mats off, and you'll be good. Be sure to park your car somewhere safe and avoid low-lying areas. So do not park your car at the bottom of the hill. And don't park it near any trees either. You park your car under a tree and it gets really windy, you're done, son. Charge any battery devices that you have in case the power goes out, which it probably will for a lot of you this time. Generators are also amazing if the power goes out. Not only do I have a generator, I also have a super dank power bank that will charge all
How
my
many
home
times
phones
are you going to
for
say the
multiple
fog
days.
is coming?
We're stoked, and we can continue making content even if the power goes out, thanks to cell phones hotspots. If you get hurricane warnings, you can make the call to board up your house in case heavy wind and debris comes through. It is a safety precaution. If you have kids and you're in the path of a storm, peace of mind never hurts. It's also very important to know the wind direction so that you're not sitting in front of a window or in a room where the wind is directly hitting. If you can't find wood to board up your house because of the...
Speaking of wind direction, it'll be turning this way. Right, counterclockwise. Yeah. So onshore flow will be kind of big here, here, really the entire coast. So it'll be coming this way. Watch out.
A full-blown Home Depot cage deathmatch, just put some duct tape on the windows instead. Or really, anything that you can find. We're in crisis mode.
Don't tape it home. No hurricane's gonna take my dad out of here, I'll tell you that.
Another pro tip for if you anticipate your power to go out is to find as many bottles of water as you can. Fill them up in the sink. Fill up gallons, galloons, whatever you can find. Put them in the freezer. Freeze all of your water. That way if your power goes out, your freezer stays cold, and then when it eventually thaws out, you have clean drinking water. The most important thing to know about a hurricane is where it hits. If it hits north of you, you're going to get the brunt of the storm. If it hits south of you, you're going to get all the wind that has already traveled across land, so it's not going to be as bad. You need to be tracking these storms in real time. I will be posting live updates on my Instagram. If you want to hear from me, I will tell you everything that you need to know. And just to close things off, community is very important when it comes to hurricanes. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your neighbors, make a group chat so that you feel like you have some people that you can lean on in case something goes terribly wrong. It's not going to be that hard to find water. It's not going to be that hard to find food. So don't freak out. Don't go running off to the grocery store. Fill up your bathtub, maybe. You fill your bathtub up with water.
What are those
it really does hit the
emojis,
fan.
bro?
You start a fire using the skateboard ramp in your backyard, the extra wood that you have. You boil some water, you're going to survive. It's going to be okay. So there's times to be serious and there's times to make jokes, and if we're going to make jokes, we're also going to be serious about the storm and take a real look at it. As I said, I waited for it to go tropical, and it's tropical. While I'm an idiot who's telling jokes in a scary situation, all those tips are sound and are something to consider. Now let's look at NHC, and honestly, let's just take a look at everything. This might be one of the, I was waiting for it to go tropical. I really wanted to go tropical so that I could show you guys all the NHC maps and all the official forecasts for peak surges, for rainfall, for wind speed probabilities, all of which are going to change
Rainfall's good.
over the next 24, 48 hours. Looks like we're having a Thursday daytime hurricane. I'm glad about that. I'd rather have hurricanes in the daytime than in the middle of the night for obvious reasons. The biggest takeaway from this is the peak storm surge forecast. It is very, very high. We're going to go because it's just a fun model. Everyone likes to look at it. Not fun right now. I don't know why I said fun. I'm nervous, guys. I'm nervous. I'm not worried. It's just, there's a hurricane in there. You can feel it in your
might
blood.
get some shear from this.
It's like an adrenaline rush that hits your body that will not leave until after the hurricane's gone. All right. That is a very close brush with a very, very densely populated area of Florida. We have convection. We have blowups. We have what seems like a center of the storm. It's really starting to look like a storm now. Definitely some rotation going on. We've been seeing that since yesterday, potentially. late Sunday night, will it
The
shoot straight
effect
through the gap, the path of
that
least
I forgot the
resistance?
name of
Will it hit the mountains over
for
Cuba
no
and get
reason.
broken up a little bit and not be as serious as we think it could be? Spaghetti models all starting to agree. All can still change and swing to one side or the other. That one is drunk. We're not going to worry about that one. I like the loop-de-loop. That's cool. Look at that. It's like the shape of a wave. We're being optimistic today, remember? This is pretty crazy, the satellite
What's the scary
imagery from
fact?
NOAA, where you can see this thing growing to be huge. I don't even think we're going to be able to see
It
the
is
waters of the
so
Gulf once this
big.
thing moves into the Gulf with how big the bands are going to be. It appears that the bands are going to be a lot stronger on the east side of the storm. The east side of the storm is going to be the side that has the juice, which is not really good in terms of where it
Which
makes
is really
landfall,
the ones
because
that's gonna hit
that's where the wind
Florida.
and the storm surge comes from. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is a completely different thing than we saw
Check out that
yesterday.
lightning.
It's something that we need to watch extremely closely, moving into the hot loop current of the Gulf that is going to feed this storm
Oh,
water and moisture
so much fuel.
and
That is so much fuel, man. Plus the wind coming in.
heat. Everything's kind of in place for this storm to rapidly intensify. You hear that all the time. Rapid
How do you get the
intensification. About
current
80%
map?
of major hurricanes, category 3 to category 5, undergo rapid intensification. That is the problem with major hurricanes. Rapid intensification is defined as an increase in the maximum sustained winds of a tropical cyclone of at least 30 knots or about 35 miles per hour in a 24-hour period. So, what we're saying is there's about an 80% chance that once this thing becomes a hurricane, we will see rapid intensification. We will see it go from 70 to 100 miles an hour, maximum sustained winds in 24 hours. The problem is
I think
it can
Cat
go
4 is on the
way
table.
past that. And that's the main thing that we have to look out for. I'm going to go to Mike's weather page, Spaghetti Models, because it's a very easy place to get to the GFS, to get to the Euro, to get to all the models that you want to check out. Go down here, we're going to flip the region, we're going to go to
Let me check
Southeast United
currents
States,
here.
because that's what we're looking at now. 972 for the GFS. I'm going to Twitter really quick. I think Mike put up all four of the models right next to each other. 4 hours ago, overnight intensity models swung back the wrong way, all showing a pretty strong major hurricane Thursday. Yeah, it's a really close brush with Pinellas County, where I'm at, and with Tampa Bay. And it's one of, Pinellas County is one of the most densely populated.
There is a France. That's so scary, bro. Let's see. Waves in the storm, getting up to 15 feet. Oh no, my arm. Yeah, I'll find the currents later.
Counties on the entire planet, and it's a very low-lying county. Looks like it moved a good bit west. Let's go look at NHC again, because that's the 11 a.m. Okay, 11 a.m. Doesn't look very west to me. Well, we're outside the cone, but again, the cone is just where they predict the eye wall could go. Once storms get this strong, they kind of do whatever they want. This front moving down from the
Check
north
this
to right
again.
here is going to help push the storm back east. So how strong the front is, how much it actually plays a role, how strong this hurricane is, how much it decides to pretty much ignore the front. These are all variables that we're
So
considering.
going up.
And the rainfall is just going to be unprecedented in many areas. More rain than some places have probably gotten in the last 50 years. It's going to be a rainmaker. There's a lot of moisture in it, and we got to keep an eye on it. I'll probably do another update this evening. That's kind of all I have for now. It still hasn't
That's
moved
like
into
a
the Gulf
foot.
yet, so this is kind of like.
Alright, that's from like this morning. Still, even from this morning, things have changed. Check out the rain map here. About a foot. I bet it gets into the dark red eventually. At least the light red. Flash flooding potential. Pretty much anywhere where the storm surge is 10 to 15 feet plus inland. Georgia, you're in this too. Why did my headset just go dark? That was weird. You're talking like a CA? I don't know what a CA is. I think that's pretty much it for that update. Play Ion Rebellion. I should do another Gorilla Tag stream eventually. Yep. It's gonna be bad. So far. Who knows? It could just shear up over the the here and then yeah. Car. Car. Beep beep honk honk. Oh, cat. Okay. It's gonna shoot that gap. Tomorrow it'll be in the Gulf. Or like maybe, yeah, it should be tomorrow. Wind accumulation, hella big. Wind gusts, big. But we're not even really worried about that right now. City heat maps. I'm good. Okay. Stay safe, y'all. That's it for this stream. Bye. Yes, GT. And an emoji.